Perth just sees change the speed and the ability to bowl a good Yorker when he needs one.
Hi everyone, it's not quite the post part of the game, but it's getting close to the post-game review stage. Australia are currently 5 for 145, chasing 1-7. It looks like we've got a dismissal here. What's happened here? Tim David is out. I'm sure he was bowled or LBO. I think he was bowled off Sam Curran. That's just about done Australia. Yeah, quite a sad. Let's have a look at this. Sam Curran bowling beautifully. And he's bowling around his legs, got his legs stumped. It's not the dismissal they wanted. It's Australia 5 for 140, actually 6 for 145. Chasing down 178. So they've got to get 30, or virtually 34 in only some 16 deliveries. Not looking very likely. Especially with Tim David going as he did. He just scored quite a healthy 40 runs. Mitch Marsh scores 45, but otherwise a little bit disappointing. So Sam Curran, Sam has looked as 10 metres the same as he did. But he got a good delivery, bowling around his legs. Pat Cummins is in now with a strike rate of 122. He's number 8 in the order, 6 down. Looks like Australia are going to have troubles now beaten by England twice. Something's missing. Pat Cummins is 29 years of age. He's only played 45 T20 matches. He's joining Wade and need 34 runs from 16 balls. It's quite an impossible task. Ooh. Good delivery. We're going to be joined by David Graveney very shortly. Assuming you can hear me nice and loudly. Let's wait and see. 6-145. In other matches, let's look here. Maybe South Africa was looking there. South Africa were beaten comprehensively by India. Very comprehensively. You would argue that South Africa would rather not have to go through what they did with playing a series in India at this late stage. Sam Curran certainly knows what he's doing with his bowling. Bowling fantastically. Not looking very good for Australia here at the moment. A whole lot of viewers on it. Kuldeep Yadav surprised me quite a bit actually too. Kuldeep Yadav took 4 wickets. And now I have a situation where at 6-148 after 8, got 2 overs to go, Australia, they've got 31 runs and 12 balls. Ooh, it's starting to look a bit difficult. Indeed. We'll wait and see. So it doesn't look. Yeah, Tim Davis was pretty poor. Having seen that, Okay, so top play comes into bowl 2. Cummins is a goal slog. There's unfortunately a person down there. Australia falling short here. Not a good situation. Australia 6-1-49 into the 19th over. Comes away. Good slow ball by Reece Copper. There will be only a single on that. Matthew Wade, albeit a good finisher, he's going to struggle here.
Hi, this is Rashi from Fancy here.
It's in the gap, but has more for. YouTube extraordinaire there. So Sam Hislop says Tim needs a tip. So yes, we need to drop Maxwell now. No, I don't think so. I don't think Maxwell needs to be dropped at all. He bowls well, and that was a shot from Cummins. He might get one or two. They're not hitting the gaps properly here. Australia have not looked very impressive in this match, I'm afraid. Manu, John, how are you? Manu, John, the long have you? So I'm not really happy they got Mitchell Stark yet to go in. But like 6 down. I thought you went to the match, you showed us the tickets. Well, a colleague of mine went, he sent me the tickets that he got. Really, Maxwell's not hitting any 50s. Well, Maxwell can still be a match winner, trust me. Here we have it now. 1 over left, 22 off the last over. Now, it's not impossible. So, I'm showing women's big bash. I'm very disillusioned by that, honestly. Right, so 1 over to go. Australia looking very unlikely to win this. 22 to win, 21 to. No, they've got. Aussie is already fried up. Yeah, they're not impressive. They played pretty underwhelmingly, both in Perth and now in Canberra. So you can't blame conditions or anything like that. I'll go that book. I love that. Went for Cummins with a nice country molly, with a nice big 6. Now, 16 off 5 balls. It's not impossible. Do a rank 4 toss there from St. Karen. Cummins has dispatched it. And 6s like that, I won't need 5 balls. it only by itself. It's not a single there. Only it's two. It's 14 off 4. It's surely England margins, I would agree with you. Hit the scoreboard on the 4. Sam Curran bowling last day. Looks like a good defo bowler. Can we try to put that out of the ground? It's just gone straight and full for what looks like just one. It is just one. So that's 13 off 3, so they're going to need a 6 amongst 2 4s. A bit nervy. Thirteen off 3 balls. Here we go. It's 12 off 2, so they're going to need 2 6s to win. Two balls to get 12. Yeah, 6 was high up. It's impossible. Yeah, it is. I agree. 12 off 2 balls. Now it's going to be another England win. 1 ball for 11 runs. It's going to need no ball on 6, and then the last ball again. No, it's not going to happen. I don't think England will allow this to happen. England have again defended the total. England gets the meet against the other one, the series 2 at the 0-1. England have won by 8 runs. Absolute disaster here for Australia. We're losing 2 matches in a row now. Sense. No Cameron Green, you'd argue. could be part of the reason. Australia kept the series 2-0, that's right. So top order missed big time, yeah. I have to agree with that. Hello, Mosen.
Hello, hello.
How's Mr. Afghanistan going?
Going well, mate. Going well.
England have tailed up Australia in 2 games in a row, aren't they?
England are doing really well. I think that's a team to beat.
I think so too.
Yeah.
And with Australia just lacks that bit of finish.
Yeah, look, they went with the full strength, and I think still the worry for me is top order with Finch.
Yeah. Look, I'm confused why they've used Cameron Green so much and now they decide to not have him on side.
Exactly. And now Finch is back, top of the order, and his usual struggle against that ball coming into him, and then all of a sudden he's struggling with momentum, and that put pressure on Warner as well. So I'm just concerned how Finch will go during the tournament, whether he'll drop himself back and get Marsh to open or get Maxi to open, and he goes at 4. It's a worry. Top of the order is a worry for me for Australia. Bowling not so much. In Canberra with a little bit of less pace in the pitch compared to Perth. England still managed 178, which was still a big score in Canberra. But once Marsh got out, Stoinis got out, it looked a bit of an uphill task from there.
I just can't understand why we, again, come back to Cameron Green. If you're going to put him in the right thread every match up until today, why wouldn't you just keep him in that spot and change the squad around? Because quite frankly, Steve Smith's virtually not being used.
The
So,
worry is Green is not in 15-man squad. So who are they going to drop to bring him in?
Steve Smith he's not using him.
Yeah, you can bench him. You can get rid of Steve Smith and bring Green in, and he'll get you more value than Smith does. He can bowl,
Exactly.
he can field, and he can open the batting.
No, I'm surprised. Again, the amount of games they've played Cameron Green, they must have wanted to see whether he's worthy of being there. They must have made a decision. Surely.
I agree.
And if they've made that, well, then just change the squad.
I think they were worried about either Stoinis or Marsh pulling up okay, but both of them are fit. So it's something to think about before the 15th of October.
If they don't have Cameron Green at all in the final squad, then why did you play him so much later?
Yeah, true. Agree. You got to get Finch in, get him some form, but Finch dropped himself, played Cameron Green all series India, first few games against West Indies, and now a couple of games one game against England as well. So yeah,
I'm confused.
I'm still not getting it.
Yeah, look, England have shown very well that they could win both these games, defend their total, and get on with it. So England and Australia are in the same group. So you would argue that those two will finish 1 and 2 in whatever order. And then we'll have India and Pakistan other side.
Most likely on the other side.
But it could well see India play England in the semi-final and Australia have an easier run against a team like Pakistan.
True.
Well, when I say easier, somewhat easier.
No, it could well happen because that look, there's a bit of weather around Sydney, and there's a bit of you know, one or two games getting washed out. Who knows what's going to happen? So it's pretty interesting time here. Australian weather hasn't been kind. I mean, it's definitely in Brisbane. It's been quite a bit of wet weather around, cloudy. Pitches have been soft. We haven't seen much sun in the last 10 days. Sydney's similar, got a lot of rain over the last few days. Melbourne's getting a lot of rain. So it's going to be interesting World Cup.
Yeah, it's just Australia can't seriously call themselves favourites. Why? I'm saying home territory favourite, but I don't know. I just think there's something missing.
Yeah, and definitely top order. You can't have a poor start with the bat, lose Finch earlier on, and then put pressure on the other batters. So you've got to get that understanding whether they go with Finch as opener or Finch has to bat somewhere in the middle or retire.
But you can't say. How can I put this? You can't say Australia. Ozzy Matthew mod out the middle there. He'd be pretty cock a hoop. He's got David Hussey. No, isn't Mike Hussey in his corner. They're already. There's a few other Australians. You're obviously going to get. Then there is two others. Lewis was someone as well.
Yeah, Christian is with Holland.
And then you got Matthew Hayden with Pakistan.
Yeah, true. There's a lot of guys actually. Aussie guys are floating around, so it'd be interesting all around. And Aussie coaches have been in demand for a long time anyway. So Hussey going to England, Modi going to England, it's a clear indication they want the local knowledge.
Well, this game we've seen today, which effectively means England's won the series. One more game left. Then what? We've got. It really starts Monday. India play Australia at Brisbane, which I'm actually trying to go to. I'm probably going to be there for the in Brisbane for both the India, Australia, and the India New Zealand matches Monday, Wednesday. Where will you be?
Monday we're playing Bangladesh.
Where?
Allen Border.
Where?
Allen Border Field.
Oh, you're there Monday.
Yeah. And 19th we're playing Gabba against Pakistan. Before India again.
India play New Zealand.
India and Australia play on I think India play New Zealand on 19th.
But on Wednesday, India play New Zealand.
India play Australia on Wednesday, and then we play Bangladesh. So India playing both their games at Gabba.
This is all in Brisbane.
Yeah.
Well, I'll have to catch up with you.
Everyone's getting here on the 15th or 14th. 15th actually, but all the team are getting here 15th or 16th.
So are you in the team that still answer now?
Yeah, I'm in team hotel.
What hotel's that?
So currently we're in Sofitel, and then 15th we go to Ridges.
Sofitel and Ridges.
Yeah.
Why are they moving it?
Because all teams are going to Ridges.
Right.
Because all teams, security, all of that, ICC bubble. So, ICC secures each team on each floor. So that's why ICC wants to keep the integrity, security, all of that. It's easier.
So do you speak Afghani and all that?
Not yet.
Are they taught? They must have taught.
They talk Urdu, so that's all right. They understand Urdu. Yeah.
Now, David Graves, he was with me earlier on an earlier preview, and he's pushing me to be on the post review, and he hasn't turned up. Where is he? He said he was going to join us. Yeah. I was asking. So anyway, all right. So I'm seeing Darwin Milan got a good solid 82. Underrated.
Yeah. The good thing for England is all their top order getting runs. So Butler, Hales got runs last game. Milan got runs this game. Stokes is the only one who hasn't got some runs, but their batting have been good. Moeen Ali got runs as well. So they're really well oiled with their batting as well, and they've tried different bowling attack today with CJ in the team, Chris Jordan, and they bowled with Stokes as well, Moeen Ali and Rashid bowling as well. So well balanced team. But best thing about Indian batting is the top order scoring runs, which always help when you get guys getting you a good start in a power play. And Butler and Hales both have got that explosive game, and Hales with a lot of experience through Sydney Thunder, and Butler have played with Thunder as well, and he's played Big Bash as well. So they've got local knowledge, understanding of Aussie pitches and whatnot, ground dimensions, because that will come in play. So we play England first game in Perth. So they've already played in Perth, so they know the dimensions of the ground. And we also have bouncy the pitch was, and how good they use the pace of Aussie bowlers. They went ramps, square of the wicket, they cut well, they pulled well, and they used the pockets really well to run hard. That's why they end up scoring 200 plus. So that's a benefit on England's side at the moment. I think that gets them number one in our pool, ahead of Australia, I think.
And Sam Curran bowled well. Nagging left arm bowling. And Reece Topley both do against. I can see the potential of leading our group for sure.
And he hits that nagging hard length where it's hard to hit, because he slow balls are effective. He bowls good Yorker, wide Yorkers, and for a not such a tall bowler, he does hit the hard length really well.
Yeah. Australia's got to work out what they're doing with. Still don't think they know what they're. The number 4 position still is worrying, because Maxwell didn't do well again today. I don't think Finch played that badly at 4. Put Green in an opener. Get rid of Steve Smith, drop him, which he virtually has been dropped anyway. I don't get it.
No. Well, they haven't got much time to make that decision. They've got a couple of days left. So what is today's 12th? So 3 days before they can make any changes.
Now, we've got a few questions here. Maxwell should be replaced. I don't agree. He's not the problem at all. His bowling and fielding is too important. I think England opened a huge can of worms by winning today. It gives a huge lesson to learn just before. I think that's perfectly right. It's a really good comment, actually, Marty John. And Australia have zero excuses losing in their home ground. So I agree. For England, for guys, they just arrived and they won the first 2 matches, boom, boom, straight after them. And they won in Perth and they won in Canberra. You can't there's no advantage.
Absolutely. Both different conditions and they won.
Yeah. And in both cases, they chose to, although the toss went against them, and they had to bat second. And you can't, dew's not a factor, is it?
No.
Nor is conditions, nothing like that. Whether you bat the ball first, it should be irrelevant.
No, I think it's just poor batting. I think both poor start. Both games, they didn't get a start that they wanted, and that's reflective of how much they were pushing uphill towards the last few overs. So it's always going to be a hard task in Australian grounds. Big boundaries. You're not going to get that many boundaries over the line, sixes in big pockets, in especially Perth, Canberra. Canberra is a big ground as well. So it's going to be hard. One side was shorter comparatively, but still, They're going to get big grounds, big boundaries, and it's not going to be hard. It's not going to be easy chasing something like 180 plus in Australia. It'd be hard. If a team racks up 180 plus, I think it'd be hard to chase.
So Afghanistan haven't had a game the last few days, have they?
No. We played today, Brisbane Heat.
Brisbane Heat,
yeah, and we won the game, but it was still not convincing. Our top order, we had 3 for 29 in power play, so middle order batted well to get us over the line. But and Rash bowled well. Rashid got 3, Mujib got 2, Nabi got 2. So our spinners bowled really well in the middle. But I think our worry is top order as well. So we're not getting good starts. So we've got another practice game amongst us for. It's like a centre wicket practice. So we'll play like a game scenario sort of stuff tomorrow. So get last hit before we join the ICC.
What's the first qualifier they play?
No, we're not playing qualifying.
Of course, that's silly. It's wrong of me to even have thought that. Afghanistan have got a pretty good situation, haven't they? They can sit back a little bit, and not sit back, but
they're in a very good stead. They've qualified, so they'll wait for the 2 qualifiers who can come into our pool. So it could be one of them could be Sri Lanka or West Indies, and the other could be anyone. Holland could be Scotland, could be Ireland. So it's pretty open at the moment.
yeah, it's still hard to come to terms with that size like West Indies, Sri Lanka, and for that matter, Netherlands and Ireland didn't qualify, but Afghanistan are already in the top 8.
True. Yeah.
You know, are they now a serious top 8 contender in terms of positioning?
I still think so. The conditions will test them, but even then, we are still good competitive because we've got a good balanced bowling attack. The issue we'll probably see is number 5 spot, number 5, number 4. Who's going how we bat if we lose early wickets up top? How the middle order will bat because they've got a couple of good power hitters in the middle, and then Nabi will come in at 6. So and another all-rounder at 7 in Azmat. But that number 4, number 5 spot will be tested.
Tim David played pretty well. Trying batting, lost out. Need to stop losing wickets at crucial moments. You can't win when you're 2 out of the top 4 passengers. And Maxi and Finch need a miracle come out of this group. I'm starting to worry.
Well, Maxi is a big game player, so I'm not worried about Maxi. I'm worried about Warner. I'm worried about Finch, because that's where my worry is. He's a captain. He's got pressure of captaincy, not scoring runs. He's tried at number 4. He didn't do that badly at number 4, but opening, he's been struggling in one days as well as T20s. That's where my worry is. If Australia's losing Warner Smith earlier, Finch earlier on, they'll lose Warner. They'll go like today, 1 for not many, and then 2. It became 2 for not many because the pressure will go on to Warner to play big shot because the runs are not coming from the other end. Finch is not taking that many risks. And when he played 1 shot, got out. So he's definitely out of form, and that's putting pressure on Warner as well. So that's why he had to play that big shot at that time when he did, and that's causing Australia a bit of a trouble in the top order.
Yes, it's very, very. Okay. England are certainly saying that as long as Butler's doing well, he's very pivotal. They've got the bowlers, got the Ben Stokes we haven't seen yet. What do you think of Shaheen? What are you hearing from him? Back?
Yeah, I've heard all good news from the camp. Shaheen is bowling. He's been bowling well, and he's nearly 100%. So I don't see him missing out. I think he'll play out of the two warm-ups. He'll play one of them at least to get his bowling loads up. Maybe he play both. Actually, you never know because he hasn't had a match practice. So I think he'll play. And then Fakhar Zaman is fit as well. So Pakistan can bring Fakhar back into the squad as well because their middle order is struggling as well. As you saw, Shadab is now batting at 4 and they're batting Nawaz at 5. So they're not trusting their current middle order to go up at 4 and 5. So it's a worry. So they need to get Fakhar in. And he's fit as well. So they both are coming here directly from England on the 15th.
Yeah. The dumbest move I still can't get over is South Africa. What the hell are they doing? Getting bombed by second string Indian team in India. It's the most embarrassing waste of time I've ever seen.
And that's a worry for me. South Africa on a bigger stage always have had a rough, they never played well in World Cups. So leading up to World Cup, it's not ideal preparation where they've gone under 2020 and now they've gone under with the one-day series with second string of Indian team. So coming to Australia, I think they're coming here day after tomorrow. So it's a worry.
Yeah, it's definitely shaky head stuff. Do you think there's a chance that they don't actually take this? I hate to say this, but is it possible they're not taking it seriously?
I think I'd hate to think that if that's the case, because it's World Cup. At the end of the day, it is World Cup. The issue for me could be the quarter system where they go with the color ratio versus non-color ratio, and if in all honesty you got to pick the best available 15-member squad, and for me Bhuvma does not fit in there, and yet he's captaining. So they've tried him and open the batting, they've tried him 4, it doesn't work. If he was such a good T20 player, he would have been picked in UAE League or South African League, but no one picked him. So that's telling me that he's not really a 2020 player. So then why would you have to carry him? And yet he's captaining. So it doesn't fit in. And just because if he's filling the color, non-color quota, then that's not the right selection for me. You've got to pick the best possible 11 or 15 in the squad.
Well, again, back to Steve Smith for Australia. Clearly, they're not selecting him. They're telling us he's not good enough. We're going to have him inside. Now, here's David gloating from ear to ear. There's lots of terms.
Well, I did tell you, Norman. I predicted how seems to be a bit of an echo. I believe.
Oops. Moses, when David's on, maybe before you put yourself on mute, I think he'll be back. I don't understand what he said. He was gloating.
I think he said he's going to drop off and join back in. That's what I heard.
Okay. I heard England are too good.
England definitely are too good. They were too good to play. They were too good.
David.
Norman.
Oh, that's better.
There's no echo on it. So, so everything went according to plan. Australia can't chase because they 8 runs short. You still got 4 wickets in the hutch. So
they seemed to lose momentum.
Sorry?
They really did.
Yeah, you've got to give credit to the way England bowled, but
that's true.
It doesn't. There's just, I don't know whether it is they just panic under pressure or whatever. But people who are in get out at really vital times. The first game it happened, Stoney's gone out the wrong time, and David got out this time again. So, that could be caused by good bowling. It was good bowling. The fielding, Australian fielding, was unbelievably bad. So, I don't know what they were doing then. So,
but in particular, Sam Curran, he both bowled and fielded well.
yeah, no, they're playing some good cricket. So I don't know what Motion thinks about their chances, but I would say that they're not, as we pointed out the last time we spoke, Norman. We can't rush down the bookmakers, but if you did, I think that England might be top of the pile at this stage.
No doubt. Most,
I think we'll give England a good run of money in Perth. First game. No, England definitely look very well-oiled team. The top order, I was saying to Norman earlier on, they've been really batting well with Butler, and Hales. Inclusion of Hales is really good, especially in Aussie pitches where he's done well last 3 years with Big Bash. And the batting depth is really good for England with the all-rounder, and then you got Sam Curran bowling well, and you tried CJ today as well. Bowling attack is really good. Walks and Stokes, both are all-rounders as well. So really depth in the batting. 2 spinners as well with Rashid and Moeen Ali. I think England's definitely top of the pile. It's like it reminds me England of '92 when they came here for the '92 World Cup. They were really good at that time.
Well, if I remember rightly, there was some extraordinary umpiring that took place in the final. There were a couple of LBWs that absolutely was stone dead, but as there was no referral at that time, and I think that was Steve Buckner who was the umpire. Anyway, not that we were moaning.
But yeah, I think England's looking really good. I think they're rightly so at top of the ladder. I think they're.
It is this inability to chase has happened because it happened a couple of times in Pakistan, where some of the Pakistan seamers bowled some really good overs at the end, and England came short by 3 runs or 5 runs. We've now had 2 matches of 8 runs, so maybe Norman said, well, they should have batted first. Maybe chasing under pressure is not easy unless you don't lose too many wickets. But you lost 6 wickets. The batsmen were in. I did say to Norman that I thought that Finch would be dismissed by a left-arm seamer, which he duly was. But to be fair to him, there were 3 in the team, so it's half a chance that he would be dismissed that way.
And that's what I was saying earlier as well to Norman. The worry for Australia is top order, runs from top order. And if Finch is not getting runs, that put pressure on Warner, and he played a silly shot to get himself out. So the pressure of not capitalising in power play and Finch not in any sort of form, and even though when he was trying to force the issue, he was getting inside edges into pad and going nowhere. And that's where I think the worry for me is whether they continue with Finch as opener or whether they'll try and draft, because up until 15th you can make a change, whether they try and draft back Cam Green into the squad.
Well, he did really well. So I was rather, I know that people do a bit of experimentation, but I think that is the wrong place to be experimenting, because in T20, the opening partnership is your ticket to win, basically. So Cameron Green played exceptionally. He just didn't have a very good game in the first game, either with bat or with ball. I think what may have shocked him is his first over. The Joss Butler got stuck into him then, and he's still a young lad. So I think Finch batted quite well in the middle.
Exactly. I think
the ball swings a little bit, and he is definitely a candidate to be LBW. And I think he actually plays spin really well. So actually, the bat in the middle, I think, is a really good place for him to play.
Agreed.
Let's stick to Cam Green opening. Now that they've tried him there, bringing back Steve Smith's days are numbered. I'm afraid they need to be bold and make the change now. Well, Sam
you've got 2 games, Norman. So you've got to have, you've got to decide what your team. You can't leave it till. I think in my involvement with the under 19s, and it happens at all levels, that you arrive in whatever tournament it is, and you don't know what your best team is. If you don't know what your best team is, you will lose.
True.
And you've got to make a decision. Right, this is the guy who's going to stick by, and we're going to give them the confidence to say, look, we back you. And I think that is what is happening in cricket. That actually the coaches have given the players the confidence to go out there and say, right, just go back. And it goes back to Owen Morgan when he was captain. This is the way I want you to play. If it doesn't work, don't worry about it. But just keep going. And obviously, if it doesn't work over a long period of time, then you do something about it. But don't change the way that you're playing, because that's the way that we win games. So, England lost some wickets, but Mo and Ali played the way that Mo and Ali plays. Yeah. He was going to counter-attack, whatever happened. So I think that says a lot about him as an individual, but more importantly, the confidence that is in the team at the present time. They're not looking over their shoulder. They know that, right, if somebody passes me the baton, I know what I have to do. And that was reflective in the way they played and also the way they bowled.
Agree 100%. And I think that's where, for me, the depth in batting, even if they keep going hard and they lose wickets, they've got Moeen Ali coming in at lower middle order batting, and they can still get 175 plus. And as you know, in Australia, grounds are bigger. 175, 180 is a big target. It's not easy to chase. Regardless
unless they did it in Perth. Those boundaries are about 5 yards long.
Yeah, true. Big boundaries and massive. So it's going to be interesting chasing here. And with England, I think they probably will prefer to chase next game. They just want to secure the series and see what happens. I think they'll probably go chasing next game just to get a bit more comfortable.
But it's an interesting view of the captains. That actually Morgan always wants to stretch.
True.
And actually, it looks like Josh said, he runs on the board. I'm confident our attack will be okay.
All right, just getting rid of a question here from Sam Hislop. He keeps wanting to Teague Wiley. Yes, he's a good player. He's only 18. He's got a future, but not quite yet. Finch and Maxey should bat with more responsibility. Well, yes and no. I think it's more the overall makeup of the team, to be honest with you. What's the trailer of the Test season 2? I'm not sure what are you talking about? Who can't stop this complete England team without any weaknesses? And Moses and David. I would argue that India is the only one that can beat England truly at the moment on their day. Australia, I look pretty much close.
I think Pakistan. But somebody else has got to get some runs.
Agreed.
And actually, I wouldn't ever dismiss New Zealand. Any game.
They can upset anyone. They always have done well in any World Cups, whether it is 2020 or One Day Cup. They've always done well. They always get to semi-finals somehow, and they sneak in with their dibbly-dobbler bowlers, and then they've got pace, and they've got a couple of spinners with the Sodhi and Shetner. So you never know with New Zealand. They always sneak in. They're big tournament.
I think got unfinished business. Face them again.
Yeah. Okay. Look. I know we're judging form. Obviously, we have to be wary of the fact that form really tells them that. But at this point, England fairly would be in the lead in that group that they're with Australia. Australia would probably be second, and the other it would be India and Pakistan. But I'm desperately wanting to see Afghanistan. As you know, David, Mosen is now
No, many
Well, the high performance
congratulations.
coaching.
I saw it on social media.
Thanks,
Well
Dave.
deserved.
Thanks, mate. Appreciate it.
So we've got a coverage from Australia, Afghanistan, and England all here on deck today. All three are in the Super 8 out of the 12. So I mean, it's great to. I mean, I forgot. I asked Mosen before, David. So who are Afghanistan playing in the qualifier? They're not. They've
They're
already
not.
qualified.
The West Indies have to go through that route. So.
Exactly. And Sri Lanka.
No, I think it's great. I think Afghanistan, if they get enough runs, and it's a wicket that sort of gets slower and slower and slower, they've got some bowlers who can cause some damage. Obviously, Rashid Khan has played all over the world, but there's some other bowlers that are equally as effective. And if they're used in the right way, sometimes I've watched them play and how they've used the bowlers has been a little bit bizarre. But I think that they've got the possibility of maybe people just tickling a few teams in the ribs a bit and that also, I think, it's when you play seemingly somebody who might be a little bit weaker than you on paper, but as long as they will have in their own mind, emotional or no, I'm not asking to reveal that, they will know what a minimum score they need to make it difficult. And Motion's right about the number of, once you get it past 150, 160, anything can happen. It could be over in a rush, but you can make people squirm about. The only thing that I think that is different about this England team is if they are 20 for 2, they don't worry about it. They just keep going. And I think in past years, they've had some knocking knees time from time to time, and they just haven't been able to cope. I just don't think that. I think they're confident, and it's not arrogance. I think they just know what they have to do in certain game situations, and I'm not convinced that Australia are of the like mind, Norman. I think
we're forgetting. We talked about England. We haven't talked about Darwin and Milan enough, and also Mo and Ali. They played particularly well, both of them today. And that's the strength of England's batting at the moment. Not only have they got Hales and Butler firing up top, they've got Darwin Milan getting an 80-odd, Mo and Ali getting runs down the order. They've still got the likes of Sam Curran there as well, and Ben Stokes. England are extremely dangerous. Extremely dangerous. And I think Australia has to be wary of that, because I know these games are not the World Cup, but I tell you what, Australia's going to go, oh my God, we're going to have to be careful, because confidence is everything.
A friendly between England and Australia doesn't exist.
No, of course, I was going to say that. There's no friendly games between Australia.
No.
And that's
like
where
Pakistan play a friend.
Pakistan, exactly right. So I think England is in very good space at the moment. The bowling attack, they have rotated all the bowlers. Even in Pakistan, they played some of the bowlers had played 1 game or 2 games, so they've rotated all their bowlers. Everyone's got a game time, which is good, and current squad is nice, healthy squad, so there's no niggles or injuries concern at the moment, which is also another positive for English team, and good to see Butler back playing after he didn't play any game in Pakistan. So everyone's there. I'd like to see Stokes getting a few more runs. I think there's 3 more games, 2 of the warm-up games and 1 more of this series before the cup starts. So still 3 games, and I'd like to see Butler, Stokes play all 3 and get some runs in them. But
I'm sure he will. I think the thing that might help them up is the favourites tag. We in the past, actually, quite a lot of teams don't like being favourite.
I was very impressed with Milan. Very impressed with Milan.
And look, Livingston's not getting a run. Salt's not getting a run. So
those injuries.
Yeah, so everyone can come in and make an impact. So I think England, India on the other side, and England on this side are two top favourites, probably in both pools to top the table. And then Australia and Pakistan for me, the other two. New Zealand could be surprised.
Which side is Afghanistan?
With Australia and England.
Right. That could be their advantage. Actually. Away.
We play England. We play England as our first game on 22nd in Perth.
Pity you didn't have that.
We'd play with some bouncers.
Well, it'd be interesting. Watching the game, Perth game together. Trotty was there as well, so we were all watching the game together as a team. We were invited to one of the community members' house, and we were all as a team watching the game. And Trotty was next to me, and we were watching and observing and taking notes. And he was talking to the bowlers how they're going to bowl and whatnot. So it's interesting. Having
Who's that? You were sitting next to him, Ocean?
Jonathan Trott. He's our coach.
All right.
What is Rashid Khan saying? Is he quietly confident?
He's that kind of person who doesn't get worried. I think, and he's very confident.
I've never seen him unconfident about anything he does, really.
No. He's such a light-hearted person. He jokes around, and yeah, I haven't seen him under pressure. But again, it's I think we'll surprise one or two teams.
Yeah.
CG will suit us. MCG drop in pitch will suit us. We've got 2 games there. And then Adelaide will suit us as well, because that's not a quick pace bounce pitch, so that will suit us as well.
So I assume Perth Motion is the new ground rather than the old ground?
Yeah, the Optus Stadium where Australia and New Zealand.
That's dropped.
Having looked at, tell somebody to get the boundaries back, because they were very short.
Yeah. They had the rope in, so I don't know how they will go in the cup. Because normally in Big Bash the square boundaries are massive. They're big.
Yeah, but spin is one of your strengths. So get them to push it back. Have a word with the groundsman.
Exactly.
Give us a chance.
Absolutely.
I think it's a big and exciting series. I think, although the only problem that I've got is the weather. At the moment, the weather's shocking on the East Coast. Not so much in Queensland, but certainly in New South Wales and Victoria, Canberra. We've got a game in tonight, surprisingly, but I'm just wondering whether we're going to continue to get all the games. So that'll be a terrible blot on the whole thing if they have lots of games watched.
Because it's a compressed competition. You obviously want it to be played. Most I detect in the tone of Norman's voice, it's not quite as confident as he was about 3 or 4 hours ago.
Rubbing it in. I'm copying it from Richard Vernon and Chris Vernon as well. They're messaging me saying, "What's wrong with Australia's fielding?" Oh,
horrible. It was terrible.
I worry about our bowling because Hazelwood's sound, yes. Cummins and stuff, we know what they're capable of, but there's something not there.
No.
Something's not there.
And again,
Cummings bowled. Okay.
Yeah, Stark hasn't had game time as well. So you remember he didn't play as many
2 tours. And he is a little bit normal, a little bit hit and miss. And I think that's a bit of a signal when they didn't give him the ball in the power play or just in case the opposition got off to a flyer, because he can go both sides of the wicket if he's not careful.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And his strength is actually in any, for me, in a white ball game, coming round the wicket later on in the innings, because he does both.
We're relying on Stark with his left arm bowling a lot. I just don't think he's at his best.
Normally you'll be fine. If not, get Ellis in.
Yeah. Now, did you see Ben Stokes fielding it from the boundary?
That was awesome.
Amazing.
He saved that 6 and converted he actually caught it, and then he knew that he was going to go over, so he threw
He
it
just
back.
threw it back.
Fantastic.
No, it's
Actually,
a fantastic.
England's feeling is one of the best feeling efforts I've seen.
Absolutely, and that's why I was saying Aussie fielding both games was not up to the mark. I think that's the area of concern. I think they'll probably have to address that. You can't be leaking runs and be scratchy in the field.
You can't hide it.
No, no, true.
So what's the next game, Norman? Before you keep shaking your head.
Well, while I'm talking, I'm watching the game in a further replay. The dismissals of Australia. I mean, good. Sam Curran was doing something with the ball, wasn't he?
Yeah, he can roll. And it's got a fast start. So you'll send the link Friday the next game, Norman?
Friday.
Is it Friday the next game?
I believe so.
Right, okay. Well, I look forward to receiving.
I mean, a 3-0 white.
We've got a rest day on Friday, Norman. I'll join as well with David.
That'd be great.
Look,
So Moses, what's the vibe like between the teams? Are they talking to each other at the hotel?
Yeah. We've been here for a good part of 12 days now. The team arrived in Brisbane on the 1st of October. So we've been doing some practice games, centre wicket scenario stuff for last 12 days. And we played today against Brisbane Heat. Team vibe is pretty good. The guys are quite relaxed. They've been days off and whatnot. They're over their jet lags, obviously. So they're enjoying Brisbane. Weather hasn't been that kind. It's been cloudy, couple of rainy days and cold days, but apart from that, yeah, it's been still
Brisbane.
Oh, it was freezing today. We played Brisbane Heat today, and around 4 o'clock that breeze kicked in, and it was cold. So that's apart from that weather change between afternoon and the evening. Boys are quite relaxed. They've been they're chilling out as well. So I think the vibe is good. It's just the one thing that they're lacking is they haven't had game time against a strong opposition between Asia Cup and now. So we played 5 games amongst ourselves and 2 games against Brisbane Heat, 1 against Holland. So yeah, it's been good actually.
So are you playing the field? Main ground.
We're playing on a bigger field. There's a Ian Healy Oval that is first class ground. So we booked that as our camp. So we are camping there. There's lights there under lights. We played a couple of games. The training nets are under lights as well. So we've mixed our training between afternoon and nights and day, just so that the guys get used to playing in different type of light. A lot of the guys have toured first time in Australia, so obviously even the afternoon the light is quite bright, as you both know. So getting used to that condition and getting used to playing under light as well. So yeah, it's been good camp actually. So we've got one more day to the camp tomorrow, and then Friday's rest, and then we go into ICC bubble on, or not bubble, but under ICC on Saturday.
Oh, that's when it comes.
When all the teams are from the top 8 teams are here, so they play against each other. The warm-ups on 17th and 19th.
Are they selling merchandise down Brisbane? Have you seen anywhere where they're selling merchandise?
Sorry, come again, Norman.
Have you seen anywhere where they're selling merchandise? Caps.
No, on merchandise. I haven't seen much actually. But there will be actually. You would think that from 15th onwards there'd be like a merchandise truck or something, or online. Yeah. I think so. Because there's 4 games at Elm Border and 4 games at the Gabba. So obviously, I would like to think there'd be some merchandise and whatnot. I haven't seen so much media or whatnot about the merchandise, but I'd like to think that from next week onwards there'll be a bit more promotion and whatnot from ICC and Cricket Australia.
And if you go to the border field, they've got a function room there where they have all their best players, Queensland, round the wall. Remarkably, there is brave in that list of players.
I'm sure
He's
they're
wearing a baggy, plum-coloured hat. Who happens to be my uncle.
nice. I'll send you a picture.
Yeah, fine.
Well, Moses, I'll bring you Eyes on Cricket next week because I'll have it with me. I'll bring you stuff. David, you already got stuff.
Yeah. Basically, Norman wants you to buy some shirts that are not Australian. Norman wants you to buy some shirts that are different size rather than Australian. I feel he's ebbing away from Australia.
All right.
No,
Right.
good to
Norman, I'll see you on Friday.
Okay, David. Thanks, David.
Cheers, Mostin. See you later. Best of luck, Mostin. I'm sure you'll be fine. Give my best to Trossie when you see him.
I will definitely pass it on.
I gave him. I selected it. You're hard to imagine that. So I selected it. His first cap was actually one day game, and even he was surprised he got selected for 50 over games.
Nice. Now I'll pass on your best to him. Norman, I'll call it a night as well. I'll catch up with you Friday.
All right, thanks, David. Thanks, fantastic. Go England, go Afghanistan.
Thank you. Cheers, mate. Bye.
Well, how was that? We had both Moses and Sheikh, who was involved with the high performance coaching of Afghanistan, currently the World Cup, currently at the Sofitel in Brisbane with the team going into ICC lockdown as of, I think, Saturday. David Graveney had an enormous lot to do with the likes of Sam Curran, Harry Brook, you name them in this English squad that he's had a lot to do with from an under 19 or even younger age development through. So they're both great insights into the game. England won very convincingly today. Lead this series 2-0, have one more game left in Brisbane, then it all happens next week with India travelling to Brisbane and they'll be playing against Australia on the Monday, and on the Wednesday they're playing India versus New Zealand in Brisbane, of course. It'll be quite enormous amount of coverage there. So ICC download the T20. What have they got here? Download the official T20 World Cup app. I've already done that. And also they got here, they got other things that are going on there in the social media world to try to provide us with the backdrop that we need. Of course, this match was all in favour of England, and they are giving Australia a little bit of a touch-up at the moment. Definitely giving them a touch-up. So Australia would be going back to the drawing books a little bit to see what's wrong with them. Still not certain about their makeup, I would argue. There's still a lot to be done in the side itself, and we'll have to wait and see whether we can actually muster anything up there. All right, some of these comments. Our the best. I know Pakistan have a nightmare tournament coming. Can't make 140 hours. I think you're selling them too short there. Our Earth was best. Another comment around that. So okay, yeah, we saw that everything out. Okay, we need to wait and see about India versus Pakistan. That's on the 23rd, I think, isn't it? In Melbourne. There's a drop catch there. Zampa drops a pretty awful catch. No, Butler actually caught Butler. 7-0. All right, so there we have it. A lot going on. A lot to talk about. So let's just have a little bit of a certainly a lot going on. Why are they not showing that? I don't know what's going on. My bank account's not running properly. It doesn't look like anything's happened today. There's 6 messages here. What have we got here? Australian media. Mo and Ali, an audio from Mo and Ali. David Milan audio. No videos though, which is a bit frustrating. People bagging Finch left, right, and centre here. Yes, certainly is a lot to be said about this Indian team, the England team, Pakistan, and now to a lesser extent Australia. They're the four teams that I'm picking. New Zealand is certainly a bit of a dark horse. Afghanistan, by all means, are a dark horse for sure, and should be treated with great respect. They've qualified. They're not having to qualify like West Indies and Sri Lanka and a number of other teams are. They've actually qualified. So hats off to them. Hats off to them. What happened to Australia? Well, the comment here is what happened. Well, they've just been mixing their team up a little bit too much of late. A little bit too much of late, I would argue. They probably need to sort that out before too long. They can't keep playing on the team because it's just they need to settle it. And I appear to have settled it now, but is it too late? I'll wait and see. Zach Galifianakis, here we go. Who's he? He's obviously a comedian. I'm looking at a lot of very interesting commentary here. There's too many comments going on. Way too many comments. Really need to sort out this whole a lot of interesting comments. Live chat's been pretty solid. A lot of doubting Thomases there about the way things have gone on. All right, any comments more, guys? Give me some comments. England 7 for 178, Australia 6 for 170. Fell short yet again, quite sparingly actually. Really should have not fallen by that much. A lot of good effort here. A tremendous amount of good effort. All right, so England. David Milan was impressive with 82. Moeen Ali's very impressive with this performance. They've got Hales and Butler going well. It's four ready-made players batting really well. Then you've got Ben Stokes in the rear there, and incredible the keeping of Butler. He's opening the batting. They can afford to have Curran on the side. Dave Warnock's a little injured there. Maxi opening and Finch at forward. I mean, what do you think? Subhash, I'd say that's not a bad idea. I wouldn't mind giving Maxwell a bit of a go up there. Why not give him a go? Looks like Dave Warner's a bit sore on the back. He's landed heavily on his back. If you this Moeen Ali's just scooped the ball through forward cover in the air, and then Warner tried to catch it on Big Darwin and land on his backside. And David Milan's hit a beautiful big towering sort of sixes. It's a six. Incredible. Don't compare bilateral performance to World Cups. It is dangerous. I must say, we'll see some pretty good performances coming out of this. So we've had David Graven today. We've had Mosen Sheikh both on the show. Didn't have other regulars, but it's all right. You need to just keep plugging away. A lot to be said. A lot of viewing to go on from now, guys. One of the last weeks that I'll be in my house, I'll be normally running around following these games as we go along, and it'll be interesting. I'll be there in Brisbane. I'll be in Sydney. I'll be down in Melbourne. I'll be across to Sydney again, back to both Adelaide and Melbourne. I've got a few places all lined up. Oh, Jesus, there's some dramatically wrong here with this. Really annoying. All right. Any other questions, guys, before we cut off? If not, we'll finish the show. It's been a great show yet again. And some good shows lately. With David Graven, the former chief the head of select or chairman of selectors. Great performances he's given over time. No doubt there's a lot to be gained from his presence, and obviously Mosen Sheikh, high performance coach for Afghanistan, heavily involved with the BBL, with the likes of Sixers and Thunder, with the World Cup, also with the onset of the IPL from the very first time Anderson was. He's been involved from day one. Impressive indeed. All right, guys, we'll all say goodbye. So view, like, and share the post. Watch further productions. Eyes on cricket with Norman Cossack. If they win the World Cup, it'll be a combination of Australia, England, India, and Pakistan. That's my four. New Zealand might come up there. Afghanistan's a dark horse. All the best, guys. See you soon on Eyes on Cricket with Norman Cossack, and watch these great matches for the World Cup. I'll be on Monday in Brisbane to watch India versus Australia, and then India versus New Zealand on Wednesday. And then we head back to Sydney through to Melbourne. We'll be there for the India versus Pakistan match, the MCG. Head back to Sydney, watch the match that India will play there, and then over to Perth, and then to Adelaide, and then back to Melbourne, and then it all heats up, semi-finals and finals. So see you there. What about Bangladesh? What about Bangladesh? Well, haven't mentioned Bangladesh at all, because really there's nothing to rave home about. They've been pretty ordinary. New Zealand's done, but so I think Bangladesh are going to be struggling. I think Afghanistan have got more hope, to be honest, in this, because they've already qualified. I think Bangladesh have as well. Bangladesh have qualified as well. But they go through qualifiers like the likes of West Indies and Sri Lanka, Holland, Ireland. They're all having to qualify, aren't they? Ben Stokes took a good wicket there as well. Bangladesh need a lot of things to go right in their favour for him to have a chance, to be honest. It doesn't look that plausible. Okay. Any other questions? All right, guys. Talk soon. All the best. Have a great night. What's some of the replays? Was Tim Davis batting? I rather liked watching Tim Davis batting. I think he bats really well. It's kind of nice to watch him play. I favour more Australia, but clearly I'm pretty impressed with the way that England have played so far. So that's my main driver. Venom FF. What about McDermott in the ICC? Well, yeah, McDermott's in there. When Warner and Finch move on, Ben Dermott comes straight in. You can be assured of that. Okay, let's see soon. It's going to be absolutely thrilling. Huge things to see and do during the World Cup. World Cups are really not good. They're always good. Warner went relatively cheaply today. Relatively cheaply. It's got to be something of a McDermott. Let's see what McDermott's story is. So we're going to see Tim Davis probably kept the spot. Cam Green, I believe, will be selected in the squad. October 15th, we've got that until that date. And if that is the case, then yeah, give him some credit where it's credit. McDermott, Head, Philippe, Inglis, Brent will get chances and see. Well, exactly, you're right. That's fair point. Deservedly so, I'd say. All right. So join me then soon, guys. We'll get to watch this more. So Eyes on Cricket matches on, I think, Friday for the Australia-England match. England have won the series 2-0 already. Third match is again in Canberra. Then we move into lockdown with team lockdowns where next week we'll certainly see India versus Australia, and that's right, India versus New Zealand, some good games. All right. Talk soon. All the best.